Did you ever think that owing money could potentially help you make more money? It might sound counterintuitive, but it's true. Debt could become a source of profit if you're strategic about it. In this video, you're going to discover some strategies that can transform your debt from a burden into a valuable tool. We'll dive deep into the importance of fully understanding and effectively managing your debt. How you can profit from your debt with smart investing. For a while now, people have been debating about debt when it comes to managing their money. It's usually linked with stress and not being able to sleep well. Many people think of it as a heavy money problem that they should always stay away from. It's true, nobody wants to be stuck in a lot of debt. But if you think carefully and plan well, debt can help you grow your wealth and achieve financial success. For instance, sometimes you can borrow money at a low cost and use it to invest in things that might grow in value. If the value of what you invested in grows more than the cost of the borrowed money, you end up with more money overall. Debt means you're getting some cash from someone else and promising to give it back later. Along with the money you borrow, there's also interest that you have to pay. Interest is a fee for borrowing money, and it's usually a percentage of the amount you borrowed. Now, here's the interesting part. Not all debt is the same. Some debt can be good, while some can be pretty bad. Good debt is when you used borrowed money to invest in things that could make you more money over time. For instance, if you borrow money to buy a house or start a business, these could end up making you more money than what you borrowed in the first place. Just imagine you want to get a house, but you don't have all the money. You can ask a bank for help, and they lend you the money to buy it. This is called a mortgage. Now, here's the interesting part. With that house, you can do different things. You might rent it to someone and they'll pay you money every month. This money can help you pay back the money you borrowed from the bank. Plus, if you get more money than you owe, it's extra cash in your pocket. This is an example of a good debt. You aren't just borrowing wildly or without a plan. You already have a well-thought-out strategy. You're using borrowing to make smart moves and build something valuable. It's like getting into a game with a clear plan to win. Before we dive deeper, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to this channel for more incredible life-changing content. Now, let's move on. Let's look at car loans too. They can be good debt, but it depends on how you handle your money and what you want. Imagine you need a car, but you don't have all the money to buy it right now. You can get a car loan, which means the bank lends you the money to buy the car, and you pay it back over time. Now here's the trick. It can be bad debt if you're not careful. Instead of spending money on fancy luxury cars that lose value quickly, it's smarter to pick a car that doesn't lose its value fast. Looking at bad debt, it's when you borrow money for things that don't help you make more money or grow financially. This might be borrowing for things like luxury vacations, expensive gadgets, or stuff that loses value quickly. With bad debt, you end up paying more in interest without getting much in return. So the game-changing idea here is that if you use debt wisely and invest it in things that can help you earn more, you could improve your financial situation. It's like a strategic move in a game that can lead to a better outcome. You just need to play it smart, make informed choices, and don't borrow more than you can handle. The secret to using debt to build wealth is to have a strong financial plan. Using debt to become wealthier is like a strategy game. Having a plan means knowing exactly what you want to do with the money and coming up with a plan to reach your goals. But that's not all. You also need to be ready for surprises by having some extra money set aside for unexpected expenses. And here's a smart move. Before borrowing more money, make sure you've paid back any high-cost borrowing you already have. Once you've got this solid money plan in place, you're all set. Understanding and controlling debt. Knowing how to handle debt is crucial. It's not just about piling up debt without thinking. It's more like making smart decisions and using debt in the right way. This involves understanding the details of your loans, like how much you owe, the interest rates, and how you're going to pay it back. Think of it like driving a car. You wouldn't hit the road without knowing the traffic rules and how to steer, right? Similarly, you shouldn't dive into borrowing without understanding how it works. Just like driving, having the right knowledge can keep you safe from financial accidents. When you're aware of these details and have a plan in place, you can control your debt instead of letting it control you. It's like being in control of the wheel and knowing which route to take. You might be wondering, why not just aim to be completely free from debt? Well, being debt-free is great, but using some types of debt can help you access opportunities you couldn't otherwise. It's a bit like having different tools in your toolbox. Sometimes, to build something amazing, you need the right tools. Let's look at how you can manage your debt. But first, let's break down the two main types of debt we have. Secured debt. This is a promise backed by something valuable you own, like a house or a car. Secured debt is usually collateral backed. If you can't pay back the money you borrowed, the lender can take that valuable thing as a backup. Unsecured debt. This is a promise you make to pay back money, but it's not tied to something specific you own. Since there's no backup, lenders usually charge higher interest rates to make sure they're protected. Think of secured debt as having a backup plan, and unsecured debt is like making a promise without putting anything on the line. Each type has its own rules and consequences, so it's important to understand them before borrowing. When it comes to handling debt, a really important thing is knowing about your credit score. Your credit score is like a grade that shows how responsible you've been with borrowing money and paying it back. Having a good credit score is like having a special pass. It lets you borrow money in the future and get loans more easily. Plus, when you borrow, you'll pay less in interest. Here's a simple guide to help you manage your debt effectively. Know your debt. List down all your debts, how much you owe, interest rates, and due dates. This helps you see the full picture. Set goals. Decide what you want to achieve financially. It could be paying off a specific debt or saving for something important. Create a budget. Make a list of how much money you get, income, and how much you spend, expenses. This helps you see where your money is going. Prioritize payments. Focus on paying off high-interest debts first. These are the ones costing you the most money over time. Make payments on time. Missing payments can lead to extra fees and hurt your credit score. Set reminders or automatic payments to stay on track. Emergency fund. Save some money for unexpected expenses. This prevents you from going into more debt when surprises happen. Reduce unnecessary spending. Cut back on things you don't need. The money you save can go towards paying off debt. Negotiate interest rates. If possible, try to lower your interest rates. This means you'll pay less over time. Avoid more debt. While you're paying off current debt, try not to take on new debt unless necessary. Seek help. If you're struggling, don't hesitate to ask for advice. Financial counselors can guide you through managing debt. Let's talk about something called the 30% rule for dealing with debt. Here's how it works. The 30% rule is like a guide that helps you manage your debt without any problems. It makes sure you can still move forward with your financial goals even while dealing with debt. The trick is that this rule says you shouldn't use more than 30% of your money to pay back debt. This leaves you with 70% of your money to cover other expenses you need to pay for. This way, you're using debt in a smart way that still lets you manage your other needs and plans. It's like finding a balance between taking care of your debt and using your money for everything else you want and need. If you find this video informative, like and subscribe to this channel for more educational content. Let's continue. Let's talk about getting the most out of your taxes, which is called tax optimization. Tax optimization means finding smart ways to pay less in taxes while still following the rules. It's like figuring out the best path to keep more of your money. Now, when it comes to different types of debt, you also need to consider how taxes play a role. Some debts might have certain tax rules that you should be aware of. For example, if you're investing in something with borrowed money, the taxes you pay might be different than if you used your own money. Or if you're using debt for something that's tax deductible, it could lower the amount of taxes you owe. Here are ways you can optimize your taxes while handling debt. Claim interest deductions. If your debt includes things like mortgage or student loan interest, you might be able to deduct that interest from your taxable income, reducing your overall tax bill. Understand tax-advantaged accounts. Some types of debt, like contributions to retirement accounts, like a 401k or an IRA, can provide you with tax advantages. Contributions to these accounts can lower your taxable income. Use home equity loans wisely. If you use a home equity loan for home improvements, the interest might be tax deductible. However, this rule has changed recently, so make sure you understand the current regulations. Consider debt consolidation. If you're paying off multiple debts, consolidating them into one loan might simplify your payments and potentially allow for certain interest deductions. Keep records. Maintain records of any expenses related to debt payment, especially if they're tax deductible. This will help you accurately claim deductions during tax season. Work with a tax advisor. Debt and taxes can get complex. A tax advisor can guide you through the best strategies based on your specific debt situation and financial goals. By understanding the strategic ways to manage and utilize debt, you can transform it from a burden into a powerful tool for financial growth. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more valuable insights and updates. Thanks for watching.